life into something that you can never own.
Hello, Gemini. So here's your reading for January 29th through about February 4th. These are general. Take what works, and what doesn't work for you. And these are always timeless. If you stumble upon this reading at a different time, there might be something in it. There might be a reason why you found it. Okay, let's see. Let's get 3 cards for my Geminis, please. 3 cards. Okay. And 1 more card. Well, that's the one. And I need what is challenging my Geminis. Okay. And I need what is your recommendations for my Geminis. In your recent past position, you have the Page of Swords. In your current energy, you have the Knight of Cups. In your near future position, you have the Emperor. What is challenging you for the week is the Hierophant in reverse, and what is recommended for you is the Six of Cups. So, in the recent past, some kind of new idea has come to you. This could be like you were curious about something, you had a new way of thinking about something, you're trying something new out. The pages are the students of the deck, and to me, they could bring messages and news, but to me, they're always about kind of like having an idea, deciding to try something out, but also the thinking or taking action on figuring out how to do it, how to do something, or you're learning about something new. So I feel like you had some kind of idea or an epiphany, or you were just learning something and you decided, you know what, this is interesting to me. And because the Knight of Cups is here in your current energy, this is like kind of the pursuit of that, but you're pursuing it with an open heart. It's something that you're very, you enjoy. It's emotional to you, but it's like a positive. It's something that you kind of pursuing with your heart. Now, this could indicate love, or this could just indicate like a new venture or a project or anything that resembles to you. So in your near future, you have the Emperor, and he's all about kind of that structured role. He kind of is in his power. He's very much about kind of like that structure, and kind of getting it done. He's kind of a fatherly figure, but he represents a lot of having the rules, boundaries, structure, and kind of order. So whatever this is, I feel like this is something a little bit larger in your life. Like you met somebody and you're kind of taking on kind of like a fatherly role. They could have kids, or you just have to take this role of kind of bringing this type of law to a situation, or kind of bringing structure to a situation, whatever the situation is. But it's interesting because what is your challenge for the week is the Hierophant in reverse. This is in reverse. This card represents kind of not really going with the structure, not really going with like the traditions or societal norms. It's kind of about maybe doing things your own way or going against the grain. So I think that's very interesting that in your near future, you do have this Emperor energy, but currently what's challenging you is going against the grain. So in the near future, you have basically the grain energy, that kind of like very structured kind of, I don't want to say tried and true energy, but that kind of strong, stable energy. But then currently, because the Knight of Cups is a little bit with the heart, he's a little bit, I don't want to say willy-nilly, but he's not necessarily thinking logically. He's thinking with his heart. He's thinking with his feels. And the Page of Swords, this to me is always kind of like a sudden idea or something. He's very smart. He's very quick-witted. He's very logical. But to me, I think this is something that kind of happened all of a sudden. He learned about something or something piqued his interest. And now he's going on this thing to figure this thing out. And he's kind of committing to that. But the Knight of Cups is all about leading with your heart in a sense. And sometimes we all know when we lead with our hearts and only with our hearts, it doesn't always wind up in the best destination. But it's interesting that your near future, you have this Emperor energy, which I do think you're going to wind up really overcoming this Hierophant in reverse, but by getting more structure in your life. But what is recommended for you for the week is the Six of Cups. And now this is about nostalgia, about things set in the past. Sometimes I get this when about I don't know how many months ago I got a dog. This is my first dog ever, but we were going on this hike, which turned out to be like a crazy hike, but I never went on this trail before. I was going with some coworkers. It was beautiful. It was really, really nice, but it was like way more intense than I anticipated, but it was great. We did great. But before I went, I didn't know it was going to be that intense. I did my tarot cards on it, and I kept getting kind of like, it was going to be like tricky. I was getting kind of burdens, trickiness, but that we will overcome type of stuff. And I did my cards for my dog. I was like, how is Jesse going to do on this? And he got this card. And at the time, when I was thinking back on it, he had such a great time that, because he's new, he's still a puppy. Well, he's going to be a year soon. But to me, this was saying that he's going to create new memories, that this hike was actually going to be a fond memory for him because he had such a good time, and we're going to do it again. He loved it, and he did great. He went where no miniature poodle has gone before, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't that kind of hike. We were like climbing mountains pretty much. It was crazy. But anyway, we survived. We had a great time, and he's a little bit bigger now. So next time it'll be even easier for him. But I'm thinking that this could indicate that either what's recommended for you is to either make new memories in this situation, or there might be something with your past, something that you've learned from the past that could help you with this situation. So there might be a lesson of the past that could be relevant with this situation, or it could just be saying, because the Hierophant in the reverse, I don't think it's always a bad thing to kind of go against the grain. I don't think that's necessarily like a horrible thing. I think it could be tricky initially. Initially, when you're trying to figure something out, going against the grain, you're coming up against more resistance, but sometimes you're also paving the path, So I don't think this is necessarily bad. This could just mean that because you're going against the grain, it's going to be more challenging for you because you're not going with the status quo. But then this could indicate you going against the grain in the near future. You actually create your own structure of how you're going to do this going forward. So, and this could represent business. This could represent anything for you. So, but there might be something from the past that could help you in the situation, or there might be some friends or family that because this also to me indicates, when I get it, like friends, family, but people that have been in your life for a very long time, or things that have been in your life for a very long time. But it also could indicate that this is going to help you make new memories going forward. So maybe you're taking on the situation and going up against these challenges to create something that is more long lasting or will be around longer. Because to me, the Six of Cups to me is always kind of that nostalgia a little bit, but sometimes moments that we have today will be the nostalgia of our future. So you might be doing something that's longer lasting for your family or yourself for the future, but you need to kind of pave a new path and create a new system of how it's going to work for you. But I think this is saying, like, either see the bigger picture of why you're doing this and why you're moving forward, or there could be some resources around you that, are friends, family, or people that could help you, or you might have learned something in the past that could be applicable for this current situation. Let's see what other cards we get for you. Okay, Geminis. I need one card for my Geminis, please. Let's take all three. Why not? Okay, so we have Sometimes Life Stings, Wasp Spirit, White Raven Spirit, Trust in the Magic, and Owl Spirit. You see clearly now. Okay, and let's get... I need one card for my Geminis. Amethyst, Trust Your Intuition. I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming. Fun, flirting, want to date. And one card for my Geminis. And now let's take these ones. Oh, all four, whatever. I'll take them. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. And stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Okay, so Wasp Spirit, sometimes life stinks. And I kind of feel that energy is a little bit from the Page of Swords and the Hierophant in reverse. Because I think sometimes we get these Page of Swords moments, these kind of a little bit clarities or these aha moments, or like, okay, you know what? I have to try something else. I have to go in a new direction because of some disappointment or something wasn't working out quite right. And you're just like, you know what? I have to try something different. So I think that's going with that. And the Hierophant, anytime you go against the grain, you're going to bump up against some resistance. There may be somebody in your life that doesn't agree with it, or it's because it's something new. It's not really tried or normal, or it's like more of a murky waters. The water isn't clean to swim in a sense. You have to kind of figure out your own path. And sometimes that stings. It hurts, or you push up against resistance. But White Raven Spirit, trust in the magic. I just feel, and Owl Spirit, you see clearly now. I think that this you see clearly now is really going also with the Page of Swords, because he had an idea or something came very clear to him. And I think even the Emperor energy here, the Emperor sees things for what they are. He's a long-term thinker. He has to plan long-term. He's that very stable energy. And with this guy with me, he's going to kind of see everything for what it is, because his mind is he's going to rule for a very long time. And it's not easy to be emperor, So he has to kind of see and strategically figure out all the best ways to do something, to stay in his throne, or to make sure that his people or his community is doing well, and they're taken care of. So I always see him as a fair emperor, So I think there's something that kind of was clear to you that has caused you to go on this new journey. And I think this is saying that you're on the right path. You just have to trust that what you're doing is really meant for you. And sometimes trust that certain things that are out of your control. Because I feel like with the Hierophant, there might be some, I don't want to say chaos in a sense, but something might not fully be in your control a little bit. Because when you go against the grain, the grain is a lot of control. But when you're going against the grain, there's less control, and there's a little bit, it's not really very, it's not always the clearest path in a sense. So there might be something that you're seeing clearly for the longer picture, you want with the Knight of Cups, but you need to trust that you're on the right path. Because this also could be something in your intuition a little bit, that you're just like, you're pursuing something. Trust in your intuition, and this is the Amethyst, trust in your intuition. So I think this is something that you just know that you need to do, or you need to move forward with. I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming. Fun, flirting, want to date. Now, I think with this could indicate love for some of you. It could indicate a new person that maybe is a little, not your average type or your regular type, but it could indicate that you're stepping into this kind of like fatherly figure role. And that's like not gender specific. It's just like an energy, or kind of this energy of kind of holding it down. But this also could indicate romance is blooming, that whatever this is for you, this is because you have the Knight of Cups. He's kind of like a romantic, he's in love. He's in love with whatever idea or thing this is. So, and he's leading with his heart. So I think this is saying that your heart is in this enough where you're willing to go up against some of the problems. This is something that's really good for your heart in a sense. So love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And I think this is always important. I think this will remind you why you're doing something, or why you're pursuing something. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And I wonder if for some of you, that's what this Page of Swords represented, that maybe you had an idea or a realization, you found something out about somebody, and now you're moving on to you had to put something to rest and you're moving on to something new. Codependency, addictions are affecting your romantic life. So there could be something, maybe with the Hierophant in reverse, there could be some of these obstacles, could be even ways of thinking about things. Maybe you are kind of tied to certain thought processes, or your family's tied to certain thought processes, and now you're trying something different, or because the Hierophant in reverse is very much outside the box thinking. But sometimes, if you've always been within the box, it's hard to see it outside the box. So I think that could be a little bit... and then you become codependent on certain ideologies or concepts that have always been because they've always been. So that could just be a little bit, you're breaking free of that a little bit. And sometimes that's a little difficult. But stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And I think this stay optimistic is kind of having this trust in your intuition and trust the magic, and stay optimistic that you see clearly now. You see the bigger picture, and what you're doing is actually going to be create memories for the long haul, or it's going to be something positive for you in the long run. Because to me, the Emperor is extremely positive. So that's coming. And so to me, this is saying that you're going to get to a point that with whatever situation this is, you're going to actually be very much in control, and you're going to be very solid and stable with it, and you'll be nurturing it. Because he nurtures things. In my mind, he's very much... He nurtures, he nurtures in a different way, but he takes care of something and he helps it grow. He helps it blossom. So I think this is, whatever this is for you, this idea or love or whatever this is, you're going to be coming up against some of the, the I don't say resistance, but kind of coming at it a little bit, maybe outside the box or in a different kind of way. And you're going to wind up nurturing it. And I think that's very positive. And I just think you need to just keep in mind, because this to me is also kind of bigger picture stuff as well. This Six of Cups, things that you maybe want for the future. Maybe there's things that you want for your children down the line. And you're thinking of that, because then that's kind of like long-term thinking of like, well, I want them to have this so they remember this long-term. So you take this how it goes for you guys. Okay, so let's get some more cards for you. Okay, so these ones came out. Find your fire and do not be afraid to burn bridges that deserve to fall. And if you are not the hero of your own story, then you're missing the whole point. I really think that's going with this, I really think that's going with the Hierophant in reverse and even the Emperor. So I think this is kind of saying that, because the Knight of Cups, he's very emotional, but sometimes, when you're leading with just emotions, if you hit some roadblocks, it's maybe easier to get brokenhearted and decide, oh, it's not for me or whatever. But you need to come with that fiery energy that like, no, I'm committed, I'm dedicated, I'm doing this against all odds, I'm doing this. So I think you need to... And maybe the Hierophant is certain bridges that you might be wind up, the Hierophant in reverse. There's certain things that are challenging because they might have always been in your life and now you have to make changes to them. So it could be either people you might have to leave behind or certain things that you have to transition from. So you'll know for yourself. And I think if you're not the hero of your own story, then you're missing the whole point. And the Knight of Cups is kind of like the hero of his own story because he's chasing love. He's chasing something that he wants. So he's doing it for like pure intentions because it's something he loves. So I think this is saying that even with the nostalgia card here, you're never a hero in the moment in a sense, but you become a hero later on. Like your actions will show the results, and then people could look back and be like, wow, I can't believe you did that, or you accomplished that. Look at that, So I think this is, you have to be your own hero, and every hero in any story always comes up against resistance. And sometimes people don't understand what he's doing or he or she's doing in the moment, but down the road they realize. They're like, oh, wow, look at that. So I think you need to keep the longer, bigger picture in mind. And with the Emperor here, this is saying that you're gonna figure it out, because that's really great energy right there. Okay, let's get the spirit of the dish for you. Okay, Geminis, you have the Knight of Drinks, which is, what is this? Is this the whiskey? What is the scotch? The Knight of Drinks is your favorite alcoholic beverage, I guess, or non-alcoholic, depending on your situation. So, okay. And for your dinner and a movie, you have Chinese food and thriller movies. The energies that you need to be either aware of or tap into are Scorpio, and they're about transformation and major changes, and Aquarius, which is about independence and eccentricity. You have Saturn here, which represents restrictions, responsibilities, and life lessons. And you have Uranus here, which is about independence and eccentricity as well. So we have... Oh, you have 2 ninth houses. So there's 2 ninth houses, which represents higher education, growth, expansion, religion, and philosophy. Now, the Hierophant also represents kind of that higher education as well. So there might be some, if this represents kind of like some type of school thing for you, there could be some kind of resistance or something to school or learning something. The Hierophant in the upright represents like leveling up. But in the reverse, I don't think it necessarily doesn't mean leveling up, but it means leveling up in a different kind of way. So you take that how that works for you. Okay, so you have T, E, R, C, M, S, T, and you have 0. And you have healing, so that's good. So there might be something you have to do some healing from. And I think this healing is kind of something that maybe set in the past a little bit. Okay. And what do we get here? And you have the clock. To me, this says time is ticking, but also this is saying that time will tell. I think this is also indicating that, really going with this 6 of Cups here, which maybe this is saying that in time, people will understand why you're doing this, or they'll see what you're doing, or they'll accept it or something, or it takes time for it to work out. Like something about time with whatever this represents for you is this. And it could also indicate time is ticking. Like if this is something that you wanted to do, but maybe you've kind of stalled on it a little bit, this could indicate that the time is now, you got to get to it, or with time, it'll work out a little bit easier or better, or just something to do with time. You'll know, something to do with a clock. Okay. Okay, my Geminis, think of your question and let us ask. Oh, mystical, magical 8-ball, the mightiest ball of all the balls in the world, what is the answer to Gemini's question? My reply is no. The 8-ball has spoken. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.